Today's episode of The Bottom Line is brought to you by First Bank.
Jim, it's like there's a party going on in the business world. Everybody's so excited about the new tax bill. Companies are issuing bonuses. They're issuing bright and shiny sort of earnings forecasts for next year. There's definitely some goodies for the corporate sector, trying to figure out sort of what's in it for the rest of us. And I'm seeing, maybe a slight boost to economic growth for a year or two, probably less than 0.1% per year over the whole next 10 years. But it's a bit of a sugar high. It's going to be front loaded. We're going to have a boost for a couple of years, and then it's going to wear off, and the higher deficit could lead to higher interest rates, and that could be a drag on growth.
Yeah, sure. Well, as a stockholder, it'll make me richer because companies will have higher profits. That means a higher share price. They'll be doing buybacks.
Yep.
And, so the upper income people who own a lot of stock will do better here. Lower income people, not so much. So one analysis, if you're on the bottom fifth of income, you can expect your after-tax income, after you've paid all your taxes, to maybe 0.5%.
Right.
And that's not nothing, but it's not much.
Right. A little more for the sort of middle income household. Yeah. It's maybe $900 a year, but it's tens of thousands for people in the top brackets.
But by one analysis I saw, if you are in the top 0.1%, way up there, you get 8% of the tax cut. I think that's a lot of money for those folks.
Well, sure, because the corporate tax cut, stocks are owned mainly by the wealthy. The pass-through income, for partnerships and LLCs and so on, they got a big break, and that's all pretty much all upper income folks. And the top rate came down by a couple percent.
But the argument we hear is that now that the corporations are all much richer than they used to be, higher profits, they'll take all that extra money and give me and you a pay raise. What do you think?
Well, the profits part is true. The J.P. Morgan says this is at about $10 a share to S&P 500 profits this year. That's about half of the profit increase that they're expected to show this year. So the impact on the bottom line is big when you cut the tax rate from 35% to 21%. But what are they going to use that money for? What I'm hearing, they did give bonus. A lot of companies, Wells Fargo, Stifel, Commerce Bank, even U.S. Bank, a lot of companies gave their employees bonuses at the beginning of the year. But you notice very few of them handed out raises because
a bonus is a one-time
thing. Yeah, they don't want to lock it into their compensation.
We're realizing we have about 4% unemployment now, and it's hard to hire and maintain people. So perhaps there's a double motive here. Part of it is just to hold on to my employees.
Part of it, but I'm not hearing many of the CEOs talk about, well, we're going to build a new plant, or we're going to invest more in R&D or anything like that.
That's true.
That was part of the argument for this bill. I'm a little bit skeptical about that. I think most of that tax cut and the boost to earnings will go right in shareholders' pockets as extra dividends or stock buybacks.
I think it will. In order to build a new plant, you have to have more demand for the things you're selling, and we don't see a tax cut creating a lot of demand.
No, I don't think so. And to the extent that it is stimulus, that sugar high, it's coming at an economy that's pretty much near full employment already.
So a positive for the economy, minor for most people, big for investors, and 1.5 trillion on the deficit. But we don't have to pay that until later.
Our kids will pay that back.
First Bank Wisdom. You don't have to be around for a century to know what counts, but it helps. Let's look ahead.